Good evening and welcome to D Street. Today has been the last trading session as far as the March series is concerned. And despite what the usual norm is, wherein we tend to see a lot of volatility on expiry day, it has been relatively subdued trading session. And the only recovery that we saw was towards the last couple of hours of trade, wherein the Sensex and the Nifty recovered most of their losses and ended near the day's highest point. But it's been a good trading session. And as far as the March series is concerned, the Sensex Nifty both have gained nearly 8%, continuing their upward journey. Let's shift towards what's the outlook ahead as far as the April series is concerned. We have with us Jagannathan Thunuguntula. He's the equity head at SMC Capitals Limited, joining us from a phone line from Delhi. Jagan, good afternoon. Welcome to Profit. Let's first start off with your outlook as far as the April series is concerned. March is behind us, but going forward, the series which is going to be news heavy in terms of earnings season, Bharti Zain deal also likely to get announced. How do you see the stock market spanning out?
Yeah, thank you. So the market has been in a range, as you were discussing, for the last 8 months or so. So March series has been good. Otherwise, broadly, we are absolutely in a very, very tight range. I believe smart distribution is happening in the market. So investors have to be extremely, extremely careful. Any event, any major event, be it national or international, can trigger the market to much lower levels. So it pays to be conservative than aggressive. The risk-reward ratio is highly getting skewed towards risk than the reward.
Jagan, the last time we met, we were talking about pharmaceutical space and how there is still a lot of inherent value there. And today was one of those days when the mid-cap pharma sector actually was buzzing with activity. Do you still see there's a lot of value in some of those names, the likes of Natco Pharma, Suven Life Sciences, Pletico, the ones that we discussed earlier as well? Or do you think pretty much the rally has been overdone and we could see some correction there?
Probably that is because the market has started recognizing that the markets have reached a overvalued zone, that the market correction may be just around the corner. So the investors must be positioning themselves in a defensive manner. So pharma, that's why they must be building up the positions. That pays to be considering the sensitivity at which the market is hanging in there. I think having pharma positions can pay off.
Jagan, talk about Bharti again. As per reports, the due diligence is done. The only thing that now remains is for both the companies to sign on the dotted line. And of course, we all know that from a near-term standpoint, the deal could be EPS dilutive for the company. But from a long-term basis, both the Zain acquisition and the proposed bid for 3G, do you think these two events, if they get completed successfully, and the only overhang is the debt factor, but barring that, do you think Bharti stock has tremendous amount of value in the long term?
Bharti is one of the best stocks, best companies India has ever produced, and so nothing to take away. Definitely, this transaction will put 3-4 quarters of pressure on the EPS. But in the 2 to 3 years frame, definitely this deal can prove to be a great success story for Bharti, because the opportunities in India is getting thinner and thinner thanks to almost 11-12 operators, telecom operators in India. So going and expanding in new countries can definitely pay off Bharti. And luckily to Bharti, the deal-related execution risk has substantially reduced in the case of Zain, unlike in the case of MTN. So almost everything is happening in as per plan. Rather, it is happening much ahead of plan. Only thing is $8.5 billion of loan, even for a Bharti's balance sheet, can put a lot of pressure. I think before this transaction, Bharti is the most qualitative balance sheet in India with a lot of cash and with low leverage. But with this transaction, even the flexibility of the Bharti balance sheet will go down. And probably this may be the last transaction from the Bharti stable in terms of size. Other small transactions in Bangladesh and Sri Lanka may happen, but this may be the last transaction from Bharti.
All right, Jagan, we'll leave it at that. But thanks for joining us this afternoon on Profit with a check on a whole host of factors from the market outlook to the overall sector in focus. That's the pharmaceutical space, and lastly on Bharti Zain deal and what it actually means from the stock. Well, that wraps up this edition of D Street. Stay tuned, cause Profit